Everybody, welcome to Back and Forth. Where the hell is my Back and Forth? Oh my gosh. Welcome to Back and Forth with Jaime and Gerald. We are in season 3, episode 6. And today I am freaking excited to share the space with Eric. Thank you, Eric, for joining us again.
Thank you, guys. Happy to be here.
Yes,
Very
and
exciting.
Eric was very kind because I sent him an email on Sunday saying, last minute invitation, if you want to join. And I do have to say, my husband Jeffrey and I were out and about, and I sent that message. If I wasn't like this the whole time until I got an email from you, it was ridiculous. That's how much of a fan I am.
Oh,
so, and it's like,
that's
oh my
sweet.
freaking God. So, Jaime is here, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Hello.
You remembered me, guys. Look at that. I'm over here. Hi. Hello.
Yes. And
nice nail polish, Gerald.
You like my nail polish, Jaime?
Thank you.
Thank you. So my standard thing to always do is please remember this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. I will also say we purchase responsibly, know your limits. We are here to share, not to sell. And we want you to make informed decisions. So if you'd like to make an informed decision, all of the links to Eric's stuff are in the description. So feel free to go explore. No pressure.
I have a question, though. Gerald.
Jaime.
So, on the new Kickstarter, what number of backer are you?
Jesus, here we go. We're flexing. Okay, so by the way, Eric has she's flexing. Eric has a new deck that just went up on Kickstarter. What has it been, about a week?
Closer to 2 weeks.
Okay. Closer to 2 weeks. And it is for the True Sight Oracle deck, which we will talk about a little bit later. Links are below. I am backer number 25. Jaime, what backer number are you?
Wow.
I have no idea who got number 1, but I am number 2.
Basically,
hey,
it's not. We're not competitive at all. We're not competitive at all. So,
not at all.
Yeah.
I actually didn't honestly know until we were talking about it backstage before you got here, Eric. And I was like, oh, yeah, we can go. And he's like, how do you find that? And I'm like, you do this. And then I went and I looked and I went, woohoo.
And as Beth Aspasia Rising said, okay, but Jaime, as you know, that's more about technological prowess than it is for love for Eric's deck.
Beth, boo hiss, boo hiss. I have everything that this man has made. Shush. In duplicate, no less.
Oh, wow. It's good to have extras. It's good to have a spare.
Yes.
One to travel with.
Yes. I do as well, except I am going to be adding the paper oracle. I don't have that one yet. I'll get that one. But so anyhow, so we're fawning all over you, Eric, as you're sitting in between us. What's it like to have people argue about who likes you more?
Very surreal, honestly. It's nice. It's wonderful. Please go on.
Yes, well, I will add to that. It's not that I like you more. It's I enjoy what you produce and the way that you produce it. So in that regard, I'm not competitive. I just am very honest with what I enjoy.
Yes.
So.
And for those of you who've missed the deck casual, where we talked about the Ink Witch and the Endless Oracle, the Inkwitch first edition, but the second edition has come out, as well as some additional Endless Oracle cards. We fawned all over this man. It was probably uncomfortable. So,
Probably.
and but that's okay. He's muted. He's probably got loud people in the back or something like that. All of his fans are like, Eric, 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 yay! But well, and yes, because I mentioned that because we do like the quality of your deck, your decks.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I do have like a little bit of the norm. I think like most people, and I find especially creative people, are like a little uncomfortable taking compliments just because I think we all tend to have some imposter syndrome. But I also think that that's good for the imposter syndrome. I feel very validated when I talk to you too.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and well,
I'll give you tough love. Get over that. If you weren't talented, people wouldn't get your stuff. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So look, I edged mine. Look.
Oh, I love that.
And it's interesting you should say that, because just before this live, I did a laugh and learn with Medium Betsy Palmer and Hershey the Shadow Reader, where we were talking about receiving and how we've learned to receive. So you're talking about learning how to receive compliments, and you're doing exactly what we do. So, and Eric does Gerald have a video playback for you? Oh yes, yeah, I do. So I do want to get caught up on chat, because in case you didn't know, I have the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, the flying lurkers, the future lurkers, the tub lurkers, the washing dishes lurkers, walking lurkers, all of the lurkers, the cow counting lurkers, the multitasking lurkers, gardening lurkers, parenting lurkers, the nap lurkers, the turkey lurkers, only half paying attention lurkers. So they're all here, and they're here to help celebrate you. So, okay. Okay, so Beth said, welcome, Eric. Hey there, Jaime and Gerald. And yes, this is pinned. I'm so excited. Please check out the description for links. Emily is here. Hello, Emily. Jonathan Daly, who is in Hawaii. We have Hypnicity. Delphi Ross, who is, I believe, in Australia. B is here. And we'll check out at some point. Don't mind me, because B is, B. Purchase responsibly, know your limits. These are very nice decks. And you can also get a book with them that is cool. Well written. So because B is learning tarot.
Oh, cool.
So, and
exciting.
Yes, Joanne is here. Hello. Jaime, the afterthought. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, right, Beth?
And Emily says, I always love your live streams. I always feel so welcome. I'm glad. This is good. And Garnet is here. Hello. And and Jonathan feels like the slacker being backer number 121. I'm not gonna judge you behind your back. I will judge you in person.
Look at this one too. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And Linda De Gonzalez is here. Hello, Linda. Pamela Batchelor is here.
Hello, Pamela.
And Hypnicity is a new subscriber to your channel, Eric.
Well, thank you.
And Eric, you're really active on Instagram.
Yeah, I've been trying to branch out and not just do Instagram, but I like being able to just like post a photo, write a caption, and then leave.
No, I understand. Pamela says, same here. I have all of Eric's deck. I use them all. They are so beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, take a breath, Eric. Let it wash over you. This is good. This is good. And Jonathan doesn't have the paper oracle yet either. Oh, yeah, here you go. I always wonder who the first person is on Kickstarter too, Jamie. Like a mom or a partner or boyfriend or anything like that. So
I actually don't know who the first backer is. I haven't looked at that yet, but now I'm definitely going to have to.
I would like to know, because I want to have fisticuffs in the digital space.
I'll let them know you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
If they're related to you, I'll leave them alone. But
Yes. Okay. Shelly is here. Hiya, digging Eric's art. Yes. Kaylee Pogo is here. And and Pamela says, I have an extra paper oracle with the book. I'd offer it to you, Gerald, but I'd rather you buy it from Eric. I would rather buy it from Eric too, because
thank you guys. I'm all about deck sharing though, especially like I really feel that like if you, especially when you have like an extra copy of the deck or you have like one that you just haven't touched in a long time, I think it's great for people to share or trade. No judgment about that.
I agree. There is no judgment for that. Well, and there's that really old tale that you had to be given your first tarot deck.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like going, okay, can I have about the next, can I have like 600 people show up at my house? Because I've got a lot of tarot decks.
I always tell people when they talk about how your tarot decks should be gifts from other people, I always say that a lot of my favorite gifts that I have are gifts that I have given myself. Mm-hmm. I think that that's totally valid too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. And MLR says lurking is exhausting.
It is, right? Because you have all these things to say, but then you don't say them.
Okay.
I love you.
And Jonathan, okay, so really it is. Okay, MLR, it's always drains all of the energy. So, and oh, yes, you got to love a good deck.
Mm-hmm.
You got to love a good deck. And yes. So I thought you were just learning, right? Anyhow. And Kaylee said, I'll see myself out, after you love a good deck. Rossi is here. Hello. Lindsay is here. And by the way, Eric, I like to say hi to everybody. So, because in the playback, you can speed this up, but you might miss your name if you're there. So, and Pamela just pledged to the newest deck too. Oh my, with stickers and dice set.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Pamela.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Jonathan is going, I'm backer number 104 for the Apothecary Spirits.
I already have my Apothecary Spirits, Jonathan.
I have mine too. So, in my defense, most Kickstarters go live when I'm still sleeping.
That's fair.
So, I mean,
whatever.
You can't drink tea or coffee. You can't stay up late. So, gee, Jonathan, okay. And absolutely. I finished purchasing stuff for myself for my B-Day, and now it's time for my Christmas. Nice. And yes, enunciation is important. Sometimes. Plucky is here. Lord, there's so much flexing going on. I feel like I'm ringside in Vegas. Right? Do you know what we're referring to when we say flexing, Eric?
Oh, just like showing off, like bragging.
I would never do anything like that. Oh, wait. I would never do anything like that. With the upcoming Tarot Stash merch. And Lindsay said mine is Lindsay's birthday is coming up. So
happy birthday.
Okay. So Eric, you've been a busy person.
Yeah.
I love this. And what was great was you did reference the Apothecary Spirits Oracle when you were talking to Jaime and I, saying that you were working on a project with Thomas from the
Hermit's Mirror.
Thank you. And so would you like to say anything about this? Because ultimately, I'm hoping that I could get the three of you on with me and Jaime to talk about this.
I imagine so. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We had, I mean, it's finished now, but we had been working on that deck for a long time. I didn't realize that I had mentioned that when we talked before, but that deck was a huge project, and I hope that like comes through in the final product, just how much time and effort went into it. Not just with like my piece of the deck, but Thomas and Michael really gave a lot to that deck, and we were definitely working on it for a very long time.
Yeah, you didn't give us a name or anything. You just said you were working on something special and you were pretty excited about it, as far as I remember.
It may not have had a name then.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
It changed a bit from beginning ideas to like the finished product.
Yeah. What was I? Oh, the book is excellent, with that encapsulates the art. And the card that's the jars, that's one of my favorite cards.
Here's something that I love about this little book is it's 222 pages. I mean, come on. It has a table of contents. I love me a table of contents. I am a geek. But, it lists all of the creators. And if I understand this from the Amity something on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Amityville Apothecary.
Yes. And so I was able to catch some of that, is that this was a thought process that Thomas came up with, and then he sort of coordinated it and let you as the artist create, if I'm allowed to say, fucking amazing artwork. And then we have Michael, who then put their skills and talents into writing the book.
Yeah, Michael wrote the individual card entries, and then I believe that a lot of the other material in the book, like reading the deck and kind of what the project is, I believe all of that was written by Thomas. And then Michael wrote the entries for the cards themselves. And aside from just like writing the entries for the cards, taught us a lot about the plants. Thomas did do a lot of that organizing and kind of came up with a lot of the general sort of themes and concepts that he wanted in the deck. And then it became Michael's job to choose plants and tools that would kind of fit those concepts. So there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of Michael teaching us about herbalism.
Which is actually one of the reasons that I would love to have the three of you on, because I think for me, there's a deck is more powerful when an artist and a writer blend together and they communicate, and it's a give and take. So I think it's a really powerful thing. And I keep showing these images, so I should probably pay attention to the chat. Here's the back of the deck. This is available on your website, which is linked below. Purchase responsibly, know your limits. Hello, a beautiful green, matte green edging.
It's divine.
Yes. So...
I love how the green on the edges turned out. I was very happy about that.
And I do have to say, just we'll talk about this a little bit more later, or in a future show. Your artwork, I find very inclusive for
Thank you.
body types, skin tones, relationships. And I love a good figure that is a figure that, depending upon who's looking at it, it's masculine, it's feminine, it flows, because as somebody who uses your decks for readings, Eric, it flips depending upon the person for whom I'm reading. So
it has been really interesting. Like now I feel like I do that. I make that artistic choice more consciously. And with this project in particular, like we wanted something that was diverse. We wanted kind of like a celebration of queer people with the deck, and so we wanted to really kind of emphasize that diversity. So for that project specifically, it was a really conscious thing. But like when I very first made the first edition of Inkwitch, that was the first deck that I made. There were like a couple of people that I made, I think, with the intention of being like more androgynous or up to interpretation of what gender or ethnicity even they were. But it was interesting when I started seeing people talking about that deck online. There were a lot of people who would be like, oh, I love that this card is depicted as a man. And then I would see other people get that same card in their video and be like, I love that this card is depicted as a woman. Like people definitely have their own, like come to it with their own interpretation. And that was really fun and exciting to see happen, sort of unintentionally. But as time has gone on and I work on new projects, I try and lean into that a little bit more consciously.
Yes. And to answer Pamela's question, is there a nettle card? Yes.
We're both ready for you, Pamela.
And Beth has said, well, hell, I love that Oracle, and Christmas to Self is coming.
Yes, but don't forget about the Kickstarter.
Yes.
98%. He's almost like
very close.
Yeah, 98%. And Michelle Marie Astrological Tarot, hello, has said, I love this topic. I've read the Tarot Apothecary by Alan Halvolson, but I've never seen Eric's deck or book yet. Thank you for showcasing. It's great. So, and yeah, there you go. What an amazing artwork. Thank you. You're welcome. So, yeah. And your art is so recognizable as yours.
Well, thank you.
Very much so. You definitely have a signature.
Yeah. And
that makes me happy.
Good. Plucky says the deck looks like spring every day. Yeah. And oh yeah, Jonathan is like, when the creator and the writer are able to work together, it's 1 + 1 + 1 = infinity. Oh, Pamela, obviously one of your biggest fans, says, I love the storytelling character of Eric's decks.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, I love tarot as, I mean, Oracle too, but tarot specifically, I feel like is very narrative. And I, even before like my art career kind of became about making tarot and Oracle decks, I was really interested in art as just a narrative thing. Like my plan in college when I was studying art was kind of that I was going to do something with comics. And I'd still like to do that eventually. I still think that that'd be a fun thing to explore. But tarot is just such a narrative art form, if you let it be. And I think that's part of why, like with Endless Oracle and like the True Sight deck that's on Kickstarter now, like those were made very intentionally to be used, like really leaning into that narrative aspect.
Yes.
Do a colorful comic tarot.
That would be cool.
That would be rad. Pretty please.
Jamie's putting in the order. I love that.
I'll add it to the ever-growing list of tarot projects.
Okay. So I do want to step back for a second, and the Inkwitch second Inkwitch Tarot deck, second edition. By the way, Love the box. Hello, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Come on. I have, yeah, this is weird. I have my decks multiple ways because I have the first and second edition. I've put my second edition together with the extra cards because explain to us how, I mean, you added extra cards in the second edition. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Something with the first edition that I ended up really liking was that people felt like it was very customizable, and that kind of happened because I made like an expansion to it a year or so later, just because there were a couple of cards after it had been out for a minute that I felt like maybe I would change a little bit. I would want to maybe make some revisions to. There were also people, myself included, seemed to really like that the base deck had 2 male presenting figures on the Lover's card. And I thought, well, it'd be nice if there were maybe also an option to have 2 female presenting figures on that card. Maybe kind of give a few options for that. And since the first deck, when I saw people talking about it online and hyping it up, one thing a lot of people seemed to really like about it was just that it was customizable. So when I was making the second edition, not only did I want to give people the option to like still have some of the old versions of the cards that I wasn't going to include in the new edition, I wanted to lean into that customizable aspect and thought, especially with the second expansion pack, one way I really wanted to do that was to ungender a bunch of the cards. So the first expansion was kind of me focusing on like what is the alternate artwork that people might want in the deck, and then the second expansion was more about what are the ungendered versions of these tarot cards.
Yes. And Jaime and I did get together one night and we're going through when we got the second edition. We actually got together and we went through the deck and decided which version we were going to be putting in. And because it is expandable, one of the things that I'm pointing, Eric, sorry. Well, this is a tell. I get really excited. You know, because for me, it's like I have 2 versions of the Lovers in my deck. I have this version, and then I have this version. And so part of that is I enjoy that, but I also like, because when you take the people out of it, there's a different message that can come through stronger. And then I do have to show the devil, because you've also matched the devil appropriately, because we have the Lovers, and then we have the devil, and then we have the the males, and then the Lovers. You know, this is like a good night out on the town. So sorry, that was my out loud voice. Apologies, everybody. Didn't mean to scare anyone. But so yeah. Did you want to say anything about the customization, Jaime?
Well, I was just going to say that I can tell when Gerald and I sat down and did things, because I've used it, but haven't come back because it doesn't bother me and I'll aesthetically fix it. But I had done the brown and then he and I went through the 2 and did our thing, and you can see it's not etched. And then these ones are edged, and then I took them out. So it's kind of funny. I can see, it's like when I pulled it out, I was like, okay, this has been on my desk every day since I got it. What the hell did I not do? So yeah, it's very customizable. And when I look at those cards, Gerald, I don't necessarily, whether you intended it or not, Eric, and it's fine. And I say it's fine. I don't see male or female. I feel the energy of the card, and that's my preference. If they're going to be people, it doesn't have to be overtly one way or the other. And the joy of your art is that I don't have to see it. I don't have to put the label of the construct. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. I do think that like the gender that does, and like tarot, especially if you're like looking at older resources that talk about tarot, is weirdly gendered in a way that does feel kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
And so I do think that it's, you don't need like ungendered cards to take that aspect out of the deck at all. It's very much up to your personal interpretation. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. And Pamela said, I caught the Eric virus from Don Michelle Boho Tarot years ago. Yes. I don't know how I don't know how I got the bug.
I do. I know. I got it from Jonathan. And then I gave it to you.
We're passing things along, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm passing it to all of you. Hi, Mary Hernandez Walker. Yeah. Beth says yes. Jamie, moving out of any construct is freeing and helps the mind see things that may have been hard to see. Yeah. And thank you, Michelle Marie. I do like to find a storyline within the images. So, okay, so we're halfway through, and we let's see some. Could we see some? Let's talk about the True Sight Oracle deck. Could you do that?
Sure. It's very nerdy. It's very dorky. A little over a year ago, I started getting really into Dungeons and Dragons all of a sudden. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 like a lot of people were, and then started listening to like D&D podcasts. And it was something that like, I don't know how I avoided getting into that until my 30s, because I'm a huge nerd in other ways. I don't know why it took me so long to get into D&D, but it was like suddenly I was thinking about D&D all the time, and we were wrapping up Apothecary Spirits, and I've been working on Endless Tarot for like more than a year now, and so those are both like very labor-intensive art projects. The art for them is really involved, and I just kind of wanted some art thing to do that wasn't going to be as much of a mental task, as much of a draining thing. And so I started just like kind of playing with the idea of a D&D deck. And I wasn't really sure it was ever going to go anywhere. It was just kind of this fun thing for me to do when I needed a break, but wanted to be doing art still. And then after a while, I realized I had about 50 pieces of finished artwork. And I was like, well, that's enough for an Oracle deck, so I guess I'm gonna print that, and now I have, and here it is. So kind of something I was doing sort of in the background of these larger projects. The artwork is all.
I'm going to put you like that so we can see.
Oh, awesome! The artwork is all like fairly like minimal. It's all just black and white. There's a terrible glare. I apologize for that. It's all kind of like black and white line art. Oh, that's
you know what I like about this though? I've been in D&D since 87, 88.
Before he was born, Jamie.
I know. Oh no, it's okay. It just means I'm older. But I like that anybody can pick this deck up and have an adventure through Oracle and through, divine whatever. And it doesn't have to be somebody that's doing D&D. But you could definitely, so my best friend is getting your deck for a D&D campaign.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's...
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's multilingual, if you will, for divination.
Yeah, I really did want to make something that would be accessible to people who aren't super into D&D.
Yeah,
so like none of the vocabulary is going to be like super alien to non-D&D people. But I was at the same time hoping to get something that like if you are into D&D, you might appreciate it even a little bit more. So finding that balance, kind of, I did want to create something that could also be used in a D&D campaign as like part of that.
Nice.
That's why I ended up getting your other oracle that goes with the Inkwitch. They tie well together.
Endless
because
Oracle.
a lot of your cards are well, of course we've already talked about the storytelling aspect, but you know, there's the figure by the fire, and there's the cave, and there's, you know, and you can create a campaign that way. And you can make those cards drive a campaign because they have.
I love that. When I was trying to think about like how am I going to make the True Sight Oracle something that you can use in a D&D campaign, I did actually think about the Endless Oracle. I was thinking about that idea of I like that deck sort of feels like bullet points in a story. And I was thinking something like True Sight Oracle could hopefully be used in the same way of just kind of creating an outline for you.
Oh, I love it.
And so for those of you who do not know or do not play, D&D stands for Dungeons and Dragons.
And you don't have to be a part of that world to use this deck. It's just the bonus part for those of us geeks who are.
Correct. And Jamie said to me, I said, you know, I saw it and it, you know, came out, and I know the reason I'm number, you know, backer number 25 is because that I was like, I don't do D&D. And
what did I say?
And you said, oh, something along the lines of, Gerald, you can read these as an oracle card really easily. You're that connected. Stop overthinking it. Just back the damn deck.
No, so, I don't think I said that.
No, that was what I heard in my brain.
No, I said back the fucking deck.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, but anyhow, so, and then, yes, and I did order a set of the die because I'm like, well, how cool is that? So, and Kaylee said, I like the fact they are black and white, almost like you could color them and make your own.
That would be very cool. I would love to see people color them.
Yes.
Are you using the same cardstock that you have with the Inkwitch, or is it different?
I think it is going to end up being the same cardstock as the Apothecary Spirit. I really liked the job that printer did, and I think I might end up going with the same specs.
I prefer, yes, do that.
It's a little bit stiffer.
These you could color.
Exactly.
These would be difficult.
Yeah, I think that you'd have to really find, like, for the Inkwitch cardstock, I think you'd really have to find very particular tools to color that.
This Tombow would slide right off. Yeah.
But I think the Apothecary Spirits, it's a little bit, it's strange because it's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker, but it's also a little bit more papery. I do think it'd be easier to color that.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, good choice.
And Pamela said, oh dear, I may need 2 decks if I color one. I mean, there's still time. And
aw, that's heartbreaking. You have to get 2? Pamela.
Pamela, I'm so sorry for you.
I'm
so sorry for you. And a lot of people have played D&D, and Pamela has this crazy idea. Maybe Jamie and Gerald could lead a D&D campaign with all of the best chatters.
I would love that.
I would then have to learn how to, you know, I'd have to learn D&D because I think I tried role-playing games once, and it didn't stick. So, oh, here you go. MLR. So close to the funding goal, guys. He only needs $76.
How cool. Well, thank you, guys.
You know, purchase responsibly, know your limits. We're here to share, not to sell. Oh, Grateful Goddess is here. Hello.
It's true, yet it's not today.
Yes, we are making sure that you're aware of this. So, I heard you say a couple of words that now have, you know, I wrote them down. Endless Tarot.
Oh yeah. I've talked about it a bit on like Instagram and stuff, but I sort of I'd sort of figured out, like, before I even launched the Kickstarter for Endless Oracle, that I wanted to do an Endless Tarot deck. The Endless Oracle was only an Oracle really because like I had done a Tarot and a Lenormand, and I was wanting to do an Oracle deck, and then that's what it ended up being. But I think that format of doing, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a deck where all of the artwork lines up, so you can rearrange the cards in any order, and you'll get basically a panoramic scene.
I think so awesome.
I think that would work for anything, any kind of deck, but especially tarot. We were just talking about how narrative tarot is as a tool, and I think that it is super conducive to tarot. So I've been working on that for I don't know, maybe like 2 years now. I'm kind of on the home stretch, but it's funny that you had emailed me to have this chat when you did, because weirdly, just by coincidence, I had just been thinking of Jaime not that long before you emailed me, because when we talked before, we had talked about the snail on the 9 of Pentacles a lot. And how that wasn't a symbol on, like, in other tarot decks that I'd ever really noticed. Like, I'm sure I knew it was there probably, but it wasn't something I paid very close attention to. And after that conversation, I was like, that is such a good symbol to put on that card. So I have made sure that there is a snail on the Endless Tarot's 9 of Pentacles. There will be a snail.
I love that. That's fantastic. You never know in a conversation what's going to stick with someone.
Well, that really did stick. And now when I have a new deck, if there's a snail on that 9 of Pentacles, I always think about that conversation. I always am like, oh yeah, that is such a good thing to put on that card. And for Endless Tarot, I think it works particularly well just because that deck is aesthetically going to match the Endless Oracle. So it's all like outdoors anyway. Yeah. So it's very easy to like plop a snail into the foreground somewhere.
That's awesome.
And Kaylee is saying, now just to pray shipping isn't too crazy. I understand that, Kaylee.
Yeah,
Kaylee is in Canada.
I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it's like shipping to Canada and Australia. It just, I feel like every time I mail something to one of those countries, it's even more expensive than it was last time. I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping that chills soon, though.
Yeah. And Grateful Goddess is an Italian Nana here. So, well, and okay, so, you know, again, to encourage the links to your store, Etsy will allow international shipping. So you have that there. So, oh yes. Duh, Kaylee, of course. It comes out in April of 2025. So early birthday gift. Yes.
Yeah. And I just purchased the Lenormand because I've been behind.
That is funny. Did you get it through Etsy or through his store?
No, through Eric.
Okay. Yeah. So anyhow, hi Jacob. So this is amazing. Okay. Everybody take a breath for a second. Take a sip. I'm going to do a bit of a commercial.
This section of the video is brought to you by the word create. Everyone say it with me. Create. Create. To produce through imaginative skill. Create joy and like, share, and subscribe to our channels. Create.
That's what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, so, that was nice.
Perfect. Okay, because yeah, and Eric on his on your website, you also have original artwork that's available.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. So yes, create. So Jaime,
Sir.
what questions do you have for Eric?
How many projects are on the list?
That is a hard, weirdly difficult question to answer just because it feels very nebulous. Like I have a lot of things that I'd like to do. And then there's also a certain amount of like, well, if I'm still interested in that by the time I get to it, like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I thought it'd be kind of cool to make like a runes deck. I've wanted to learn runes for a long time, but I am so much into like the art aspect of divination that I'd rather have like a deck of cards than a set of actual runes. So like I've thought about doing that. A year or two ago, I had been talking online about wanting to do an oracle deck that is like art themed, where the cards are things like spilled ink or a blank canvas, that kind of thing. And so like those are on the list, but it depends a lot on just like how long those things can hold my attention, honestly.
I have a creative list. So what I do is sometimes, you're bebopping along, I'm out there in the back 40, I'm walking, my dogs or whatever, and some type of a story will develop in my brain with a character, and I have a name and this and that. And so I get my phone out and I make a little note of what it is. And then it's like 6 months later, I come back to that and I'm like, oh yeah. There's that kind of a list.
I have a file or a folder that I keep on my computer that I call the compost bin. And it's just all of the ideas that are like, this might be something someday. Chunk it in there.
Yeah. So we have a question from Nalani. What medium
that was going to be my next one. That's funny.
Do you prefer for your creations?
Pretty much everything I've done and have planned is ink and watercolor on paper. I really like to work traditionally. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable adding digital into that process. The Endless Oracle and Endless Tarot kind of require a little bit of digital tweaking just to make sure everything lines up well. So I'm trying to get more comfortable with digital art, but I learned art on like traditional media and have just kind of stuck with that because it's my comfort zone. But it's mostly all watercolor and ink on paper,
which is my favorite thing. So that's awesome.
Well, I'm glad it's mine too.
I love that, and I love.
That's why you have a signature, because it's This is a wonderful comment.
Yes.
From the True Sight Oracle Visions Ignite, the ink which weaves magic in shadow and light. The paper oracle whispers fate's gentle weight, while the endless oracle beckons us to create.
I love that.
She is just clever as
that is very good.
Yeah.
Yes. So just in, and I was just looking, it's funded.
Oh, wow. How exciting. Well, thank you guys. Hooray.
Hey, that's awesome.
I was telling Jaime and Gerald before we started recording that I've been like, it's been sort of sitting at 98% for days now. And I've just been feeling like if it could just get that last 2, I'd be able to sleep again, probably.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes. And I know everybody has purchased responsibly. They know their limits. We're here to sell, not to share. I mean, we're here to share, not to sell. So, yep, there you go. You're $14 over.
Wow. Well, thank you guys.
That's
How cool.
Yay.
There you go. There you go.
It was the snail parade. It
was the snail.
Snail parade. Yes. Sleep well tonight. Sleep well tonight. Well, and what's interesting is everybody is sipping. This is good.
Sorry, sip, Gerald.
Because I made Jaime go, Jaime, what questions do you have for Eric? Because I was completing my purchase of the paper oracle and an original piece of artwork.
Oh, exciting.
So,
thank you.
It's like, and I got it because, Jaime will be jealous, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. So anyhow, Vicky Howell is here. Hello. Oh, here you go. Totally the snail. Slow, but pushed it over the top.
That's right. That's amazing. I love it.
Well, I love the idea that you're talking about of something with artwork and things like that, and symbols. And I think it's one of those things. There's so many different things that can provide us with connection to the divine. And there's so many different stories that could be told with that. So
I will say that if you take on runes, take on the Northumbrian.
Oh, okay.
Don't take on the Anglo-Saxon, because the Northumbrian is the full deal.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, it's the end all. It is the full. When I see Anglo-Saxon, so this is no lie, and this is not to this is not me flexing or anything like that. When you put something out, I will back it, because it's tried and true, and I know that it works for me and it connects to me, right? So I dig that part of it. But if it's Anglo-Saxon, I may have to say, damn it, create an extra set, please. So, because I would use cards. I mean, I have this little bag is my own set that I created out of Scrabble tiles.
Oh, fun. That's awesome.
So they look like they have little Christmas lights on them, and
I love that.
Own thing. And yeah, so this is what I use the most, is my own stuff. But I would use, just because a lot of people don't put out the Northumbrian. Yeah, see, Pamela,
Yeah.
And Runes class is coming up in November, people. Oh.
And that's Kelly Fitzgerald, The Truth and Story, teaches.
I will be there as TA.
So, are you familiar with Kelly Fitzgerald?
I don't think so. Maybe I'm familiar with if they have like a screen name on, like you were saying earlier. I'm on Instagram a lot. What is it?
The Truth and Story.
The Truth and Story.
I don't know if I know them.
Yeah, she's she is on Instagram a lot.
Cool. I'll write that down too.
And she has a channel on YouTube, and she does classes. And her runes class is coming up in November. It's the last class of the year.
And her classes are in depth, so they're pretty exciting. So I always like her classes because I understand where the concepts that she's teaching, where they sit in history. So
that is useful.
Yeah, because I'm also a visual artist. I have a bachelor's in fine arts, and I understand that all artwork was a response to the artwork that came before it, all of the movements. So, yeah. Welcome to come to class, Eric.
Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Yeah, I wrote that down just in case. I know like a very small amount about runes, but obviously not enough to make a deck yet. It's something I've been wanting to learn more about. So,
yeah. And and Beth says, there are also witch runes. Those are cool too. So, and of course, Eric, I don't want you to think that every time you're going to be coming, we're going to be giving you more work to do. That's not our point. That's not our point. So, it's not my point. It's Jaime.
Okay.
And apparently we are acting like siblings, Jaime.
Well, it's typical. It's all right.
Yeah. So, oh my God. So, all right.
6 minutes. He has 6 minutes.
Yeah.
He has 6 minutes. So,
I'm so happy you showed up today. Lovely.
I'm happy you guys asked. Like you said, it was great timing. I was just thinking about that snail. I'm always happy and excited to talk about tarot and oracle decks with people anyway. So.
Oh, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, here, let me do this.
Welcome. Today's video is sponsored by the word moist.
everybody have to see Jamie's flipping me off backstage.
Eric, close your ears. Everybody shut up. You're such a dick. Why would you do that?
This section of the video is brought to you by the word rude. Everyone say it with me. Rude.
Rude.
Welcome, Eric. You're really a member, and we're glad to have you here. If I can actually throw that out there, and, I made Nalani get sick. So, anyhow, there you go. Oh, passive aggressive moist from Gerald.
That's right. That's right, Beth. You tell him.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Eric, in the 3.5 minutes that we have you, is there anything you'd like to share with people? We can encourage people to go. I would encourage people to go look at your website, go make informed decisions, look at the artwork. There's great stuff about the process. Follow you on Instagram if you're on Instagram. But you've now got 3 minutes.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. Oh no.
Pressure.
Well, one thing I was thinking about earlier, this idea of like buying things responsibly and like sharing, not selling. One thing that like there's this really difficult sort of needle to thread when you are like an artist whose art is paying their bills, but you also like want to be accessible to people, and you want to you like kind of have to play capitalism but also really hate capitalism. That's all like very difficult to balance. And one thing that I try and do is make things really available to people. So it's like if you're looking, if we've been talking about my work and you're thinking, oh, I really love this, but I can't afford that this month, I try and keep it around. So if you can't afford it this month, it's not going anywhere. Also, like, obviously I have bills to pay, but reach out to me and say, hey, I'd really like this, but I don't quite have the wallet for me. I'm not shy about giving you a discount or that kind of thing. Like, I really, really feel like as much as I was saying, kind of have to play the capitalism game that we all kind of have to, I really want my work to be accessible to people. And if you want it, I want you to have it. So
yeah, that's sweet.
That's beautiful. That's very generous. And I completely understand that people may not be able to afford artwork. But you're absolutely right, Eric. This is someone's livelihood. Yeah. And you put a lot of work into it. So, and I am grateful that you are doing that.
Well, thank you.
So this is absolutely lovely. And Beth said, may I just say, Eric, in my best Renee Zellweger voice, you had me at snail. You had me at snail.
That's my
you're not doing Renee. So
yeah.
But Eric, it has been wonderful sharing space with you. Thank you.
It has been wonderful sharing space with you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me talk about myself for an hour.
Well, you handled yourself really well with all of the praise that we've been hearing.
Well, thank you.
So
it's something I've been working on.
Nice.
And, I encourage everybody to stay tuned, because I will eventually send out an email to Eric, Michael, and Thomas saying, what's the likelihood we could get you on to talk about not just the deck, but we do have a specific topic that we want to talk about.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously I can only speak for myself. I would be very excited to do that. I think that they would too. They have projects ongoing as well, and I'm sure have schedules we'd have to manage to sort out. But yeah, definitely, if you need their contact info, let me know, because I would love to hang out with that group. That sounds great.
That's
well,
awesome.
That would be wonderful. Yes,
Yay.
please send me their contact info.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'll get you in touch.
All right. Everybody, please make sure to like this video. There's always a prop.
The best one.
That's a good prop.
Like and subscribe, and we will see everyone later. Hang out for just a second, Eric. Thanks, everybody. Bye.